Who will qualify for next season's UEFA Champions League? Every year, fans argue about who will win the Premier League. But I think there's an even more interesting debate. Who finishes in the Champions League places? Because one bad month, one injury, or one failed transfer can completely change a club's season. Today, I'm predicting my top 5 teams that I believe will qualify for the 2027-28 Champions League. Now, before we get into the rankings, there are 2 clubs that I think are almost impossible to leave out: Arsenal and Manchester City. I'm not saying it's guaranteed because football always surprises us, but if I had to put my money on 2 teams qualifying, those are my 2 picks. Arsenal are the defending champions. Manchester City still have one of the deepest squads in the world. Unless something unbelievable happens, I expect both clubs to finish comfortably inside the top 5. So instead of spending 10 minutes talking about 2 teams that everyone already expects to qualify, let's talk about the clubs fighting for the remaining places, because that's where things get interesting. Third place, we have Chelsea. I think Chelsea are the biggest winners heading into the season. And surprisingly, it's not because of a huge signing. It's because of something they don't have: European football. While Arsenal, Manchester City, Liverpool, and Aston Villa could all be flying across Europe during the week, Chelsea gets a full week to prepare for almost every Premier League match. That advantage is massive. Less travel, less fatigue, more time on the training ground, and fewer injuries caused by playing every 3 or 4 days. People often underestimate how important recovery is. Playing 55 or 60 matches in a season is completely different from playing a 45. Chelsea's squad is also one of the youngest in the Premier League. That means more energy, more pace, and players who are still improving every single season. And of course, they're not perfect. They still need consistency. One week, they can beat one of the best teams in the league. The next week, they can drop points against a lower table side. That's what separates them from Arsenal and Manchester City. But overall, I believe Chelsea has enough quality to comfortably finish inside the Champions League's places. That's why I have them finishing at 3rd place. Then at 4th place, we have Liverpool. Never count Liverpool out, ever. Anfield remains one of the toughest stadiums in Europe. Liverpool knows how to handle that pressure. Their squad is filled with players who have already experienced title races, Champions League nights, and massive cup finals. That experience matters. Liverpool also plays one of the most demanding styles of football in England. High pressing, quick transitions, constant movement. When everything clicks, they're almost impossible to stop. Now though, the only reason I don't have them higher is because there are still a few questions surrounding the squad. Can the new signings settle quickly? Can they stay healthy throughout the season? And can they maintain their intensity while competing in Europe? Those are fair questions, but I believe Liverpool have enough quality to finish 4th. Now, this is the battle for fifth. This is where everything becomes unpredictable. I don't think fifth place belongs to one club. I think there are three clubs fighting for it. We have Manchester United, Tottenham Hotspur, and Aston Villa. So let's start with Manchester United. United probably have the highest ceiling on paper. They have talented players all over the pitch if everything clicks. They could even challenge Liverpool, but that's been the problem. Consistency. One week they look like the genuine Champions League contender. The next week they lose points because they should never lose. Until they prove they can perform every single weekend, I can't confidently put them in the top 5. Then there's Tottenham. For me, Tottenham have the highest upside. A new tactical approach, an exciting squad, several important signings. If everything comes together, Spurs could definitely and genuinely finish inside the Champions League's places. Their attack looks dangerous. Their midfield has become much stronger. And if their system works immediately, they'll be incredibly difficult to stop. But there's also risk. New managers need time. New players need chemistry. Sometimes great squads take half a season before everything finally clicks. That's why Tottenham are one of the hardest teams in England to predict. Then we have Aston Villa. Villa have quietly become one of the best run clubs in the Premier League. They're disciplined, organized, difficult to beat, and tactically flexible. The problem is depth. Unlike Arsenal or Manchester City, Villa can't rotate two completely different starting 11s. They're also playing Champions League football this season. That means more travel, more matches, and more pressure on the squad. Over 38 league games, those extra fixtures could become the difference between finishing 5th or 7th. So who am I picking? I think I'm going with Tottenham, not because they're clearly better than Manchester United or Aston Villa, but because I believe they have the highest ceiling. If their new manager gets his ideas across quickly and the new signings settle immediately, I think Spurs edge out both clubs by just a few points. But honestly, this could be the closest battle in the entire Premier League. I wouldn't be shocked if any one of those three clubs finish 5th. So, it's time for my prediction. Here's my final top 5. At first, we have Arsenal, then Manchester City at 2nd. 3rd, we have Chelsea. 4th, we have Liverpool, and then 5th is Tottenham. Just missing out Manchester United and Aston Villa. I think Arsenal and Manchester City are a level above everyone else when it comes to qualifying for the Champions League. Chelsea benefits from having no European football. Liverpool's experience should carry them through. And Tottenham, they're my biggest gamble. If their project comes together, I think they'll sneak into 5th place. But now I want to hear about your opinion though. Who finishes inside the top 5? Does Manchester United prove me wrong? Can Aston Villa overcome the demands of European football? Or will Tottenham finally return to the Champions League? Let me know your predictions down in the comments below. If you enjoyed this video so far, don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications for more Premier League predictions, transfer news, and football analysts. I'll see you guys in the next video.